online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
That was the Libertines. You're listening to Russell Brand on Radio 2. You might have just heard the sound of our bungling oaf producer staggering into the room saying, morning, sorry. Like we were working in an ink factory or something. We're doing a radio programme, you can hear voices. I'm here with Matt Morgan. How's it going, mate?
Very well.
You look so upbeat. Why is that?
Because I'm moving house and I've got a bad back.
Yeah, why is that making you so happy?
Oh, right, I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, you look upbeat. You look
do I?
right.
Yeah, I'm great, actually.
Bright
moving
eyes.
house, I've got a great back.
Yeah, so why are you moving for?
Well, that's a bit of a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Why, do you not want to deal with that now? We don't have to deal with it now.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Why? You've made it sound like I've done a murder and I've got to run away.
What, are you trying to hide? People are going to ask questions. It's going to be a hell of a show. You just move into another place. That's London life, isn't it? We're migratory. I don't know how you say that. We move about
Migratory?
Migratory, yeah. Migratories. We're migratories. Oh, Lord, purgatory. Hey, listen, this will be a good show, won't it? Because, I always say this at the beginning, but, take it with a pinch of salt. Noel Gallagher may or may not answer the phone. Who knows? Perhaps he will, perhaps he won't. But I tell you what will be exciting is Mr. Nibs, a young lad who sort of Matt and I have enslaved, will be bringing us a goldfish from Birmingham. On last week's show, this woman phoned up. We do a bit where we help people. You know that by now. Cry for help. She goes, oh, I've got a goldfish. I'm thinking of different ways to kill it. We stepped in and said, we'll have it. We'll leave it in the studio. We'll have it as our pet. It's called Christoph now, isn't it, this fish?
It's called Christoph and he's on his way.
Yeah, Mr. Nibs, the 18-year-old lad who, he's not really, he don't have to do that much for us, does he?
No, he's not enslaved. He's a willing participant.
Very much a willing participant in our mind
We should get him to
games.
sign something now at some point.
What, in case retrospectively he looks back at this time and thinks that it was somehow abusive?
Hang on.
Hold on, they were sending
They
me out
made
to
me wear a
Birmingham.
hat, change my name to Mr. Nibs and do errands.
Yeah, it's good. It'll be doing a power of good. Matt, when you cast your eyes through that window at the people behind the show, does it worry you? Mikey, the Scotch lad, off his head, look at him. He's wearing...
too big for his boots now.
Mikey has, because we've praised him and mentioned him on air too much. He wears, you know that, remember that advert for beds that used to have a hippo and a duck in
Yes.
it? He dresses like the hippo. He's wearing them pyjamas that hippo used to wear, and that hippo and a duck bed ad.
He's got a t-shirt underneath it. He hasn't committed fully to the summery shirt.
No, he's not, has he? He's still clinging to his Scotch winter. Right, so what else we got to talk about? We've got to talk about that fish. We've got to talk about... Well, oh yeah, I've done that thing at the Albert Hall. What were you guzzling drinks down for? Can you do that?
Because you bought me a cup of tea.
You sound like desperate
Look at
Dan.
it as if it's something new to you.
Yeah.
You bought it.
I've done that out of kindness. Yeah, another act of kindness.
Oh, sorry, what were you talking about? The Albert Hall?
Oh, yeah, the Albert Hall. God, well, we're on the subject of benefactory acts by old Russ. Yeah, I've done this thing for, like, Teenage Cancer Trust. Went very well. Me and Noel Fielding done it. It was good, wasn't it? You was there. You turned up.
I was there.
Yeah.
What do you mean I turned up? You turned up.
What do you
I
mean?
gave you support from the back.
Yeah, and it was your idea, that good Space Operas idea.
There you
Me and
go.
Noel Fielding raced Space Operas around the Albert Hall, not like hopping round on them. I passed one to one side, he passed one
You
to
should
the
have
other
done
side.
more. And you were a bit reticent to throw it up high.
Well, yeah, like, the people in the Albert Hall wanted us to throw these space operas into the upper echelons, up to the higher balconies, but I thought that might induce some sort of death.
What, someone might get too close to the
Yeah,
edge.
people might go, oh, a space opera and clamour. I thought it's all well and good raising money for Teenage Cancer Trust, but if they, like, the night's death toll is in the dozens, people will not look fondly back at it. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, let's just draw a line under it while people have kept their lives.
Not very Jim Morrison, though, is it?
Well, you know.
No, put the space operas down there. No one go near the edge.
Is everybody in? The space hoppers are about to be passed round. Open your mind real wide now. Yeah, well, I just don't want people to hurt themselves. Now, Matt, what interests me enormously is the incident that you described while on the way to the Teenage Cancer Trust gig, where Matt was walking behind our beloved friend, Carl Barat from Dirty Pretty Things, formerly of the Libertines, who opened the show for us. You were walking behind him, you said, him and his lovely girlfriend Annalisa, and this is what Matt told me. He goes, I was walking behind him, and I was walking behind him for too long to sort of go, all right, mate. So Matt felt he had to make some sort of statement, massively overcompensated by pinching Carl Barat's arse, and Carl Barat had what Matt described as an Alan Partridge style reaction. He went, "Ah, get off, I'm Andy," and sort of brandished a fist. Really overreacted.
He spun round and sort of almost broke my wrist. And then when he recognised me, it was like he had to deal with sort of going, "Oh, it's you."
Yeah.
And, oh, God, I've just done that thing where I look like a Vietnam vet having a flashback.
You weren't there. The Libertines was tough, man. You weren't there. You weren't there, man.
Don't touch my arse!
That's really funny. They just all span round. I wonder why that is. I remember, like, there's some girls that we know saying that Carl Barat's got a very girlish arse. Now, I wonder if that is something
don't try and
feels it.
sexualise my act. My act was a bit of laddishness.
Laddish, but
I was sort of going, "Oi,
son!" Like, that was it. It was an upbeat arse pinch. It wasn't
Yeah.
meant to be taken as a sort of
I
a
didn't
come on.
expect to see him on the tube, so I was walking behind him thinking, that looks like Carl.
Staring at his gorgeous, peachy little bot.
Hello. Well, I just pinched a man's bum. He turned around and I thought, oh, God, I know him.
Oh, Christ!
And he's going to hit me.
It's time to pay the paper! My ass pinching's finally got me in trouble.
Yeah, no, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, you pinched his ass and he sort of reacted to it. Ah, bless him. That's because, I don't know why that is.
I hardly got the pinch, hardly sort of...
You didn't even have time to make it a proper incision.
No, before there was some sort of kung fu chop.
Well, that's any listeners that are thinking about making a grab for Carl Barat's arse. Know this, he will react
out,
with
yeah.
extreme prejudice. He will spin round. Oh, wash it! Wash out, you! Huss, huss.
Oh, well done, you've ruined my trip on the tube. Now I'm going to have to break you.
Hey, I've thought of a great new game. It's called the Tube Game, but it only works if you're in London, actually. Let's forget all about it. It's rubbish. Right. So
You're so exclusive,
do you
aren't you?
think so? I'm Metropolitan. Well, hold on. You could do it
You
with
can
a
be
bus map.
Metropolitan in other places in London, can't you?
That's true. Yeah, all right.
Unless you're the Metropolitan Police, they're only in London, aren't they?
That's right. If they start making arrests elsewhere, then it's against their jurisdiction. So yeah, later on we'll ring up Noel Gallagher. We'll talk about what will we talk
I
about?
don't think you should say that unless you've actually, maybe fallen out with him.
I ain't. I spoke to him yesterday. He was all right. Now this is what I'm worried about. Like, so we'll ring him.
Yeah,
we'll
what
talk
was
to him
all
later.
this that you're embarrassing me with Carl? What about you saying about Liam Gallagher?
Well, I love him. Listen. Know
That's
this
the
about
new
my-
thing that's papering over the cracks of the truth that he came out with at the Royal Albert Hall.
We
in front of a
will
few
talk about
thousand
this
people.
Liam Gallagher issue in the next link. Also, we'll talk about what we're going
Why
to
the
do.
next link?
Because
What?
you've got to keep the show pacey, baby.
No,
This
because
is
you want in
radio.
that song.
Peace
I
there.
don't want you to say this. I do want you to say this.
Matthew, when we're covering this issue, would you be very careful to highlight A,
You know,
B,
am I
and
allowed
C?
to mention that you said he's got thumbs that look like cashew nuts?
He has got that man. Is
Why
gorgeous.
would you say that about Liam Gallagher?
From the tips of-
Violent Liam Gallagher with his little cashew nut thumbs.
Them cashew nut thumbs be gouging away at my eyeballs. Listen, I love all of the Gallaghers. There's not a Gallagher
You
alive.
love
that I
cashew
don't
nuts
love.
as well, so really, it's a good
It's the
combo.
perfect package. Listen, why don't we listen to the Sugar Hill Gang? Then afterwards I'll see if I can dig my way out of this cashew scandal that we've created for ourselves. Listen to the Sugar Hill Gang. That were Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. You listen to Russell Brand on Radio 2. I ain't done my trousers up yet. I feel a bit undignified.
He just went to the toilet.
Well, we can't muck around in this
Did
game,
number
mate.
2. I said, you've got 3 minutes. That song's 3 minutes. It's all right. I'll leave the door open. As if, what the hell does that make the pressure higher?
Well, it
And
just means that if something goes on, you can shout and you'll just see me there. And I can go, right,
you
what?
do a link from the toilet?
Yes.
The BBC?
If I have to, Matt, if I have
I'm
to...
still not convinced you've wiped. You've
Oh,
ran
of
in
course,
it
I'm
fast.
very thorough with that sort of business.
Thorough?
Very thorough. I can't get up.
All the way round, 360 degrees.
Right, the whole rim. But also, since we've done
Ah.
that prostate cancer link, tell you the truth, my fingers up there 3 or 4 hours a day.
Don't keep saying
Oh,
that.
come on, listen, if you think you have got prostate cancer, or even if you don't, get right up there. That's my advice, Jeb. Remember, the people from the prostate
Don't point
cancer.
that finger at me, mate.
I'll tell
I
you
know
what.
it's been there.
And I'll tell you where it's going. I'll do you, because I don't reckon you've been examining. I'm worried about you, sunshine. I don't know what
Don't
the
keep
ethics
saying that,
are.
because you'll give me hypochondria.
How can I give you hypochondria? You're worried about getting hypochondria. That's your nature.
Tell me your voice.
Listen, Lenny Henry.
Cashew nut thumbs, come on.
Listen, shut up. I'm doing one thing at a time. I listened to this radio show the other day back when I was in a car journey, and we don't concentrate. It's quite...
When I was in a car journey.
I was in a car journey. I was being part of it. I was really contributing to it. Hey, this is a car journey. Listen, Right, last Friday, says a person called Joe, I think I saw you on Hampstead Heath out for a run with someone. I'm guessing it was your personal trainer.
You were very sweaty on Hampstead Heath. You looked very flustered. And you were with a gentleman, an older gentleman. He might have been your father.
You were in a blind panic. Smothered in guilt.
I saw you and asked you for an autograph, and you coughed and spluttered and ran away. Fell over a hedge.
Said, this is my culture. Let me be. Can't you please let me live? Won't you just let me live? Right, no, she saw me and she was listening to our podcast, look, and I was talking about the exercise stick. Anyway, you should join a running club. It's called London Heathside. There's a training round the Heath most evenings. I don't want to run around with others, I'll be embarrassed. And there's no ban on carbs or booze after 3. In fact, they're almost compulsory. Oh, thanks a lot. I'll put on weight and be an alcoholic again. Thanks a lot, Joe, for your advice. Let's ring up Joe, because I want to know what she thinks I looked like, whether I looked handsome running around, because I often think I look a bit of a prat, do you know what I mean?
I can imagine you do.
Well, I got me
What do you wear?
This tracksuit, I think's a bit too big.
What tracksuit? You said it like it was here, on a coat hanger.
This guy here, I call him Captain Dan in the tracksuit. It's like a sort of a black tracksuit. The bottoms are a bit too baggy, and I wear sort of a hooded top. Then I wear a vest I think might be a bit too tight. Then I wear these black
like Rocky?
trainers.
You just sort of do little few punches.
I sometimes try and do the Rocky music in my mind to inspire me on a little bit.
And also keeps being Hanna-Barbera.
It does Pearl and Dean, actually. Turn
off your mobile phone.
Yeah, let's ring up this woman. Mikey, when you're not too busy perving over your latest conquest. Mikey, I don't know what his job is.
He's had too many numbers.
He's come here drunk. He uses this job, as certainly, as far as I can see, as a conduit to arouse himself sex-wise in the trouser department.
Well, we know that.
It's an atrocity the way he lives his life. You're a disgrace, young man. Right, so, we'll ring up Joe later, find out if I look nice while I'm running around.
Does he shout at you, like, go, pick it up, and stuff like that?
No, he's not like that. It's much more cerebral.
Pick it up!
Pick it up! Yeah, go! Utah Saints! No, he's much more kind of, yeah, well done. You know, and also you don't have to run for a minute, then walk for a minute, because that apparently is good, gets your heart rate higher, makes you burn off more fat. Huh?
I told you about that.
Yeah, well, sometimes I switch off when you're talking. Anyway, so the goldfish will be arriving some point during this show. Now, that woman, I think she was called, what was she called? Karen? Deborah? What was she? Mikey, what was that woman called? Get off the phone, for God's sakes. Like having half a daily in the crow's nest. Who was the woman that's supposed to give the goldfish in Birmingham, Mikey? Deborah, the woman in Birmingham, was meant to give us this goldfish that she's been plotting to kill. Didn't meet Mr. Nibbs, our valet stroke manservant. She stood him up. He was there at Birmingham station. Now he's got to get all the way from Birmingham to London by the end of the show. But he's got the fish. You did meet him eventually. I think he has now got the fish in his possession. So why don't we, in the next link, why don't we have a chat to a few people? We'll chat to Mr. Nibbs about the state of this fish, because the woman said the reason she didn't want it anymore, this Deborah,
depressed and upside down.
Because its wife had died. His fish wife had died, and like it was now right proper moody and was swimming all sideways probably because of the duress and bereavement and grief.
Probably with one of those long poos just floating out.
Do you know what, Matt? I once had a couple of goldfish. One of those crazy guys done a long poo. It was just trailing out the back of it.
The other one ate it. You've told me this so many times.
The other one swam up behind and started eating it.
I'm sure this is page 1 of the book you work.
Why did he do it, Matt? Why did he?
A lot of people say, why don't I get into showbiz? And it all goes back to a thing I saw with a great little act to these 2 fish. One of them did a long poo, looked like a bit of string or something. God knows how he did it. And the other one just ate it. Quick as you like, live as it happened. It was wonderful.
I've never forgot those 2 little guys, and it is to them that I dedicate this bookie book. Guys, this one's for you.
You're obsessed
Read on.
with that going on. What about your rats? One ate the other one's whole body. That's worse.
All my pets eat bits of each other.
You drive them to it.
I do. Don't make me
blow hot and cold with them.
I do not blow hot and cold. Oh yeah, then there was that dog who used to coax up the stairs and then kick it down. That is apologise to it when it got to the bottom.
Hot and cold.
Literally hot, then cold.
Well, not literally. I mean,
no, cruel, then pleasant.
Yes.
But as Ernest Hemingway said, my father was a very sentimental man, and like all sentimental people, he was also very cruel. Interesting, eh? Because I suppose if you understand, like a little kitten, it's really sweet. You could also go, you're very sweet.
That's what I think of Morrissey.
I could jab you with a pin. What, my cat?
No, not your cat. The man Morrissey.
You think Morrissey, the performer?
Yeah, because, you know, I bet he's quite acerbic and nasty, but he can also be very sweet.
Romantic and beautiful, because he sees the beauty. You think he has the capacity for great cruelty?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not Morrissey the man.
Well, The cat, then.
I'm just worried that you try stuff on with my cat 'cause he's a bag of nerves when you turn up. But
Last time I saw him, he looked, well, frankly, dead.
he's all right now.
He had his paws over his ears. Like, he couldn't take it anymore. He'd just given up.
He's all right now. He's picked up again. That's since he had his nuts cut off. Now, listen, come on, we've got a lot of important issues. This goldfish will be coming. We'll be talking to Mr. Nibs about that. Also, what an important topic it is that Bannatyne, Duncan Bannatyne. Remember, we had like 2 shows ago when we had Steven Seagal in here. This was all fixed up for us by this bearded cowboy agent guy called Richard Hillgrove, who also had as one of his clients. He had Bannatyne, Duncan Bannatyne out of Dragon's Den.
I think it's Bannatyne.
Bannatyne. It's a weird name, though, isn't it? I can never tell what it's called. Like, I always think it makes me think of Bruce Banner, the Hulk, because it's just got similar syllables in it, and then I just think of Duncan Bannatyne walking off sadly at the end of Dragon's Den. Dun 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 dun. Duncan Bannatyne. If you've got an invention, he might get right proper cross about it. Dun 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 dun. So anyway, we thought it was odd that Richard Hillgrove had such diverse clients. Steven Seagal, Duncan Bannatyne. That's odd, isn't it?
What the horrible crux of the matter is that you did an impression.
Yeah.
Of
Oh,
Duncan
hello. It's
Bannatyne.
been an invention.
Don't do it again.
Oh no. Yeah. Now Duncan Bannatyne got upset about me.
Sacked the cowboy.
Cowboy's been fired! He sacked that poor Richard Hillgrove. Is that who's on the phone? That cowboy? Look at Mikey floundering. Joe, what, the woman that saw me on the heath? Right, okay, so we will be what I think we should do, Matthew, is we should try and get Duncan Bannatyne and Richard Hillgrove, the bearded cowboy agent to the stars, back in touch with each other, because we've caused the rift. We saw it in the paper. We'll read out that exact clip in a little bit when
Perhaps
that goon
them
Mikey
on a
brings
gondola and Mr. Nibs just rowing it slowly.
Yeah, wearing like a shirt and sort of waistcoat and a straw hat like a proper gondola, but no trousers and pants.
Oh.
And it'd be clear that he's fully aroused by the spectacle. Okay, so now then, does this go back briefly before resolving the Bannatyne and Hillgrove issue to this lady who saw me on Hampstead Heath? Joe, hello.
Hello, Russell.
You're right. I can't imagine you running on the heath. You sound like you're a wreck. You've got to sound like you've got a hacking cough.
That's probably because I've just come back from a run now.
You've been on a run?
Yes.
On the heath?
No, we're on Highgate Hill today.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that you should join a running club instead of going out with your personal trainer.
What's the advantage of being in a running club?
Because there's lots of other people around to run with.
That's a disadvantage. I don't want him looking at me.
Yeah, but they'd all get annoyed with him being too slow.
Hey, I'm pretty swift when I'm on the hills.
But if you're at the back, nobody can look at you, can they?
Then I've got to look at them. I think it would make me nervous. Now, listen, this is the real issue, Joe. When you saw me out running on the heath, did I look nice?
You looked a little bit hot and bothered, to be honest.
I don't like that. I sound like I was flustered.
That's before it started. He just had a tantrum.
Oh, look, I don't like this gym stick anymore. I don't get along with it. So what, I looked hot and bothered, did I?
Yeah, you did. You looked like you just wanted it to stop.
I did want it to stop.
Why are you putting yourself through it, Ross?
To get super fit. I've got my visa. I'm allowed to go Hollywood now. I'm off to Hollywood.
Good.
Yeah, I've got a visa, so now I can become, like, kind of be in this film now. So the reason I've got to do it is because I've got to be all handsome and thin to be a movie star, Joe. And I'm not going to get into that state, scampering up Highgate Hill with you and your cronies coming back puffing on B&H from the sound of things. Do you still drink booze?
No fags.
Do you drink booze and have fags, Joe? No.
We drink booze, we don't have fags.
Drink booze?
We drink booze and have lots of cakes.
You're like pirates.
What? No, not at the same time. Not like around the running club.
No,
It's
well,
not
I mean,
like a
hold
social
on.
thing as well.
Do you meet up, go for a run, then have a cake?
Then have beer and cake, yeah.
That's no way to live your life, is it?
I think it's an excellent way to live your life.
So, hold on. So, you think there's no way I could ever, say, for example, pull a bird while out running because I look all flustered and hot and out of my depth?
Well, maybe you could go a bit slower, and then you wouldn't.
I'm not going that quick. I'm not tearing along as it is.
Perhaps if you went up to a woman police officer and went, I've lost my mum, you might get some conversation.
Yeah, I suppose so. Listen, perhaps I should just... Was it the costume, Joe, or was it just my physical demeanour?
Costume? Such a drama boy, aren't you?
Was it the outfit? Or did I not look pleasant?
Was it the script?
Well, and you had a ponytail.
Yeah, that's right. That was me.
Oh, dear.
Well, what am I going to do
What
with
else
there?
did you have? An 80s mobile phone? Red braces?
Buy, sell. Oh, I'll go jogging dressed as a yuppie. Listen, all right, Joe. Right, so you think it's definitely fundamental. Well, I'm going to keep doing it anyway, Joe, and I can't join your cake scoffing running club because it sounds paradoxical. And there's
It
one
would
thing.
break all your carbohydrate rules.
That's
as
right.
well.
Yeah, it will cancel it out. No point running if you're going to go and drink
Nah,
cake.
I don't want to get trapped in a paradox. It's the last thing any of us need is a
God,
paradox. Oh, I've had it happen before. All right, Joe, thank you very much for your time, darling. Now get out there and run off your scones.
I will. See you later.
See you, love.
Bye.
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 Yeah, that was what I always feared, Matt, is that I don't look very good while doing exercises. That's why when you and some of our mates who we work with, I fired
What
them.
was all that about?
Well, you turned up when I was doing exercise in the garden. They come out to watch me
No,
like I was
what
some sort of
annoyed me-
spectacle.
No, we came
Like
out.
I was the Elephant Man. You, more than anyone, say I'm like the Elephant Man when I have to shuffle along down the streets. Here, mister, why is your head so big? Can I have some peace?
The thing is, we walked into your garden and there was a bloke there, and he's a personal trainer, is he?
Don't start on Mikey, he trains footballers.
To be what?
A bit more fat. No,
He looks like he owns a pizza shop. He literally does, doesn't he? He looks
he's
like
really lovely and
he's like
brilliant
Mario
man.
or Luigi. So there's this little Italian
He's an
guy.
older gentleman now. He's fit as a fiddle. You want to see him running up that heath, especially when I grab his bum.
Yeah, well, he
can't
should be on a
tear off
bike.
quick
I bet
enough.
he's on a bike smoking.
Come on, Rusty.
Come on, kid. You're like an Italian tank.
Yeah, no, we went into your garden, but the thing was, you didn't look at us and go, "Oh, lads, give us a moment." Go back inside the house. I'm
Yeah.
just finishing. He didn't even have any eye contact with us. He shouted for his PA, Marsha, there's people in the garden. They've come to see. Make them go. And we all had to, and she came out and went, "Oh, go back inside the house." Then he said, and then I could see him telling his PA, "Put them in the spare room. Pull down the blinds." And we were put in the spare room, and then she came in and went, "Oh, he'll be all over soon." And then put the blinds down like we weren't allowed to see what he was doing out there.
Well, I was doing something deeply personal. Now, I, as a child,
What?
I was
What?
fat when I was little.
I've
so I'm
seen you
also-
do every single thing that you could. What on earth
Oh
could
yeah,
it
let's
have
go
been?
run
It's
through them
deeply
things.
personal.
You've seen me poo, wee, and ejaculate. Hell, God, that was an evening. But it's embarrassing, isn't it? Because remember, I was fat when I was little, so I'm self-conscious around exercise and stuff
Let go
like
of
that.
it. You're not fat now.
I'm thin, if anything.
Brilliant.
But the thing
Should
is,
have got Mario to stand in front of you. No one would have been able to see you.
Hey, I love Mikey. He'll hear this. His lad listens to this radio show. He's
I'm
brilliant.
only
He's one of the
joking.
top physicians and that in this.
Physicians?
I don't know
That's
what
a
their
doctor.
jobs. I don't know what people do for a job, Matt. Let's not judge. Gillian McKeith looks through people's whoopsies and calls herself a doctor. So who are we to cast aspersions on Mike, who's he got Tim Emman back from his injury. He helped Ed
Did he?
Johnson. Yeah, all top footballers, top pros.
Okay, well, I'll take it all back. He's
Good.
obviously super fit.
You're a very cynical and difficult man to work with. Now, okay, so what else have we got to sort out? Mr. Nibbs is on his way down from Birmingham. We'll have him on the phone. Mikey, get Mr. Nibbs on the phone for the next link, young fella, my lad. What should we do now? Have a listen to a record?
Bob Dylan.
Why not listen to him? Why have you got him on your mind today?
Is
'cause you're moving?
No,
Is it?
I'm not that predictable.
You are a bit.
Homesick blues.
Go on, then let's have a listen to this, then we'll sort of trawl through some of the things we've got to work out in the world. Russell Brand Radio 2. The Vandals took the handles! That's Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues. I like that. It makes me feel upbeat. Does it make you feel upbeat, Matthew? This is Russell Brand on Radio 2. So I've got my visa now, so I'm allowed to go off to Hollywood, come and film
Can they
stuff.
take it back with you?
Yes, so don't mention nothing mental. Like, in case it upsets anyone. Hi, Russell and Matt, says Harriet. Well, just don't say it.
Just asking. Once you get it, is that it's not like?
I think so.
Why not?
Yeah, but I think now. But every time I go to America now, I've got to go through all the rigmarole of going up the embassy, probably more drug tests. I had to have blood took off me. I had to have a
That's not
conversation
going to
with the
happen every
doctor.
time we go to America.
I think, yeah, but I'm not allowed to just go through. You know how, like, if you go to America, you just have to fill in that form on the plane. I was entering America illegally because I was saying that I hadn't been a drug addict and I hadn't got a criminal record.
And so that's wrong, isn't it?
That's bad. Never do that, no one. Good old Merricky. I think, says Harriet, that you should start a campaign to get a visa for Snoop Dogg to come to the UK. And get him to start one in the US to get you one. Well, we don't need that now, which is good, because I think that would be a difficult conversation between me and Snoop Dogg. All right, Snoop Dogg, can I help you get a visa if you help me get one? I don't think he'd be interested. Also, I think that you and Matt would look better if you both cut your hair. Oh, I don't think we would. No, we look nice as we is.
We is?
We look, no, I think that's we look nice as we is. I think a bit of Snoop Dogg infiltrated my mind there. Let him come here. China, get out to bed. England, let Snoop Dogg in. Because I don't think Snoop Dogg would do any actual harm, would he? He's a nice fella. He probably...
No, but he was banned because he was part of a riot in Heathrow Airport.
Now
Doesn't look good, does
you
it?
mustn't do a riot in Heathrow, darling.
How can he be, how can he be in a riot with that accent and that sort of
Because he seems
slow
too
pacing?
calm. Hey, everybody.
Everybody go crazy.
Let's smash up some of the luggage. You can't swear on radio too. It's difficult to do a Snoop Dogg impression without swearing. Yeah, because he's too laconic, isn't he, to be involved in a riot? Because he'd pick up a Molotov cocktail and it'd sort of probably go out by the time that he threw it.
Maybe he's got two gears like Yoda. You know Yoda?
He's got that gear when he whizzes around.
Yeah, so maybe he goes, okay, I'm gonna go crazy now.
Yeah, he pops his joint on the sideboard and really kicks off. Maybe you're right, maybe he does have another gear. That's something we didn't consider about Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggy Dogg, Doggy Dogg. I think he should be allowed over here because I've always liked him since I was a younger child. Here is a letter. No, it ain't. This is out of the newspaper. Yeah, I just want to make sure I've cleared up everything. Right, that's it. Trying to get out to Tibet. Snoop Dogg allowed in England.
Liam Gallagher's thumbs.
Liam Gallagher, I love him and I'm enchanted by him and entranced by him. I get on very well with all of the Gallaghers. Now, Matthew, don't come between me and the Gallaghers just because of a few right observations about digits. This is a letter, not a letter, article in The Independent from the 21st of March. Now, we had Richard Hillgrove, agent to Bannatyne and Seagal on this show. Seagal came on here. He was a great big peaceful wardrobe of a man, great big giant fella. He's definitely got two gears. You can see how Steven Seagal would spring to violence in a moment. Say, for example, if someone criticised his weave. Say, for example...
Oh, you've called it a weave, have you? Why are you saying he's got a weave?
So, say someone like Matt Morgan were going, oh, he got plugs on his head. And started trying to criticise Steven Seagal.
I just said his hair looked a funny colour.
If I bump into old Seagal again, I shall hand over your details of your new little love shack.
You've learnt nothing. Seagal will sack Hillgrove now.
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, Hillgrove will have no class. He'll be coming round here with his cowboy hat in his hands trying to collect coppers by the end of the week.
Fish in a bowler hat. Watch him. He's going to do it.
Doing a jig to raise coppers. Yeah, so look, this is the article in The Independent covering it. So, because when Richard Hillgrove was on here, I think, I just did an impression of Duncan Bannatyne, but I think he's my favourite one out of Dragon's Den. Is it your favourite one, Matt?
He is my favourite one, actually, yes.
I like, is him? Oh, no, actually, I like that one on the end that's got, like, a big, thick head of hair and looks sort of like dead, sort of like he knows what he's doing.
I quite like the one with a floppy fringe who's got a diamond-shaped face who's from Australia.
He looks a bit like Willem Dafoe.
Don't know who that is.
Yeah, he does look like Willem Dafoe. And then I like the one on the end, the very sort of like a big fella. He had made his millions by the time he was 18.
Oh, yeah.
That one I like.
Yeah.
This is just tell you what, mate. On a normal radio show, people would have gone find out the names of people on Dragon's Den, not staggered through. Going, he's got a face like a diamond. He looks like Willem Dafoe. I like Spider-Man. Right, so listen to this article from The Independent. After a beautiful 2-year relationship, sad to hear that Dragon's Den judge Duncan Bannatyne, he's just Bannatyne, has parted company with his PR guru, Richard Hillgrove. Bannatyne, a fitness club and hotel mogul, who was discharged from the Navy for throwing the commanding officer overboard. That's a bit out of order. Right, up 2, 3, everyone man the decks. Right, F-Wolf, I'm slinging a bloody drink.
Hang on, that must be, like... In the history of seafaring, that must be like a hanging offence.
Surely.
That's mutiny.
That's mutiny, what he done there, Bannatyne. And to think he has the gall to go out selling ice creams, knowing that he should chuck the seamen into the river.
He sacked Hillgrove for mutiny.
Hillgrove's mutiny was a marginal offence. He was just witness to someone doing an accent. Imagine if Hillgrove had tossed Bannatyne into the Thames and then threw his cowboy hat in after him, done a little blow-off. Bannatyne would have been furious. But listen, this gives the general impression that Bannatyne probably quite hard. Bannatyne, a fitness club and hotel mogul, threw his command officer into the sea. He called his PR man yesterday to dispense with his services. Them services you've been doing, you can keep them, mate. Hillgrove had appeared on Radio 2 and allowed host Russell Brand to mock Bannatyne, allowed him. Would you mind, Richard, if just for a moment I mocked Bannatyne? Please, go ahead. Oh, I've got an invention. I won't invest a penny. And it wasn't, like, sanctioned in that fashion. Hillgrove, known as the bearded cowboy, Right, and then it goes, known as the bearded cowboy for his oversized head decoration, simply because he's got a cowboy hat and a beard. It's pretty
that doesn't take
self-explanatory.
beard into account, does it?
Doesn't, no.
Unless his beard hangs off his hat like a fake one.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. Anyway, he's known as that. Hillgrove sacked Chris Eubank as a client last year for being too eccentric, and this may yet turn out to be a Bannatyne business error. Hillgrove once got the snarling Glaswegian on a Newsnight with Jeremy Paxman to pass judgment on Madonna's adoption of Malawi baby David, some coup. That is quite interesting to think of Bannatyne judging Madonna in that way, because it's a bit extra, isn't it? A bit abstract.
It's a bit odd. It's just a big chain of sackings.
Eubank's been sacked, Hillgrove's been sacked, some poor merchant navy officer's been hurled into the sea for next to no reason, far as I can work out. Now, what we were going to do is have a quick chat to Dickie Hillgrove. Is he there, Mikey? Richard, you there, mate? This is the agent to the stars, Richard Hillgrove. Hello, you there?
Hello, Russell.
You all right, mate?
I'm very well, thank you.
You sound a little bit destitute and impoverished.
I'm on the side of the road, actually.
Yeah, you sat at the side.
Begging.
But I'm in a car. I'm not on the street.
Right, okay, you've still got a car round you. That'll probably be the next to go. That'll probably sack you. Why's this happened, Richard? What did he say to you?
It's all curious. That's what the papers are saying. They're saying that Russell Brand upset the mighty Duncan, and all I know is on the Monday, everything's fine and dandy up until then, and I get a call saying your services are no longer required. You've got a new agent and a new publicist.
It's like a depressing version of that Craig David song. I had him on Monday, he got the sack on Tuesday. I hope you're making love by Friday. I really do, Richard. I believe that's what happened to Craig.
Russell, can you find me some new clients?
Definitely. Me and Matt Morgan will endeavour to get you some of the better. Right, here's some of the people we know are available. Dave Benson Phillips, Kids TV presenter. He wants a bit of help. We're going to be talking to him a little bit later. And who else can we get in there?
Mr. Nibs.
Mr. Nibs. We know this lad. He got a hell of a gift. He can do whatever you tell him. Imagine
Also,
that.
we know two fish. One will poo and one will eat it.
Yeah, these guys are incredible. Now imagine this, two fish, they swim round in a circle. One of them, he's the ringleader. He does a great string of whoopsie. And then the other one, quick as you like, comes up behind him, noshes it down. Now, if that's not going to sell tickets at the Albert Hall, I don't know what will. Are you interested, Hillgrove?
I'll have a little think about it. Let me
Beggars
Google
can't
them
be
and I'll come
choosers,
back to you.
Hillgrove! Beggars can't be choosers! You've lost Bannatyne! Segal won't be far behind!
I'm trying to keep it A-list.
Fair enough. So,
How about you, Russell?
what? I've got real good PR people.
All right.
That's bad to Richard.
No, Richard's well good. There's no doubt about that. I mean, as this independent
Let's test
thing
him.
makes clear. All right, how?
Richard, have you ever noticed anything odd about Steven Seagal's hair?
What's in a ponytail?
Anything else, Richard? Be honest. Pluggy!
I couldn't possibly comment.
Good.
Correct answer! Right, that's good. You passed that test. Now, what else can we test him on? Say you was in the merchant navy and your commanding officer is really doing your nutting. Do you A, politely obey his orders? You are, after all, a member of the naval force of which he is a commanding officer. B, bear a secret grudge but basically do nothing. Or C, go up to him, grunting loudly, wrap your arms around his midriff and hurl him into the sea. Dun, 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 dun,
I'd
dun,
make
dun,
sure I
dun,
was
dun,
the
dun,
commanding officer.
dun, dun, dun. That is the wrong answer, because he didn't support Bannatyne. No wonder he's brassed off. Now, apparently he's in San Francisco, drowning his sorrows. Like, I don't know what he's doing in San Francisco. Probably
Leaving his heart there.
left his heart there. He's probably become a member of the thriving gay community since you've nosed his life up, Richard. He's just living for kicks now. He's probably trying to find William Burroughs. He's living like a beatnik in the early 70s. We're going to ring up Bannatyne and try and cheer him right up. Is there any message you want us to leave for him, Richard?
Send him my love.
Send him your love.
Do you want him back?
Yeah, come here. Baby, come back!
I have to think about it.
We'll sing him a nice record.
You should sing that to him.
Baby, come
is from
back!
Richard Hillgrove.
Baby, come back! I'm going to sing that. And so that's from you. We've got his phone number. We're going to ring him up now. He's probably asleep because he's in San Francisco. We'll just leave it on his other phone. Baby, come back! Bye. We'll sing that and I'll river dance while that's happening, because it seems to be what I naturally do anyway. So, what clients have you got left, Richard?
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed clients
If I
left.
mention any more of my clients to you, Russell, I'll lose a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Now listen, I would like to take back Matt's comments about Seagal. Is that Bannatyne's phone? It's ringing. I'm scared.
What if he answers it?
I don't know if he answers.
Duncan.
Duncan. Right. Okay. What'll I do if he answers? I'll just be normal.
Go, hello, Duncan.
Hello, Duncan.
Your call has been forwarded to the T-Mobile voicemail.
If it plays his number, dip it.
Is not available to take your call.
Right.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished,
We
you
don't
may
have to
hang up
panic, do we?
or press
Because you
1
can always
to change
press
your
1
message.
to change your
Well, we
message.
can't.
Right, Duncan Bannatyne! Duncan Bannatyne! We're very sorry about the impression that we've done Duncan Bannatyne! Duncan Bannatyne! Please consider getting back with Richard Hillgrove. This is Russell Brand. Now, me and everyone on the show here, me and Matt Morgan, we're big fans of Dragon's Den. You was always our favourite dragon. We did do an impression of you, but it was like an affectionate impression, not like a malicious one. We think you're really brilliant. We love the ice cream van vibe. We're into all sorts of stuff. Now, this is a message that we've been asked to pass on from your cowboy, literal cowboy, though we don't mean that in a pejorative sense, cowboy agent, Richard Hillgrove. Baby, come back! Bye, 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 bye. Baby, come back! Bye, 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 bye. He wants you back, Duncan. He says none of his clients really mean anything to him except for you. You were all doing the old operation together. He missed you like crazy. I miss you, baby. Baby, come back! Bye, 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 bye. Have a good time in San Francisco, Duncan. For God's sake, stay true. Don't drift off into becoming a member of the gay community. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, it's a right laugh, but just stay with your values, Duncan. For God's sake. Love you, boy, Duncan. Right, hang up, for God's sake, Mikey. Before I say anything else ridiculous. Richard, do you reckon that'll win him back?
If that doesn't do it, nothing ever will.
If he don't come running
Thank
back...
you, Russell.
That's all right, mate. I just want to see you with the client list that you deserve.
I'll keep you posted.
Keep in touch with us, Richard. It's lovely to speak to you, mate. Good
mate.
luck. Just I hope
Bye,
you're-
Richard.
I hope you are in a car by the side of the road and not just perched by some bins, squatting.
There's a car with no wheels.
It's
Oh,
like
it's
Fred
that way.
Flintstone the way he travels. All right, Richard, take it easy, mate. Keep it under your hat, eh? Ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye, love you.
Bye.
He should stop doing business with you, shouldn't he?
Oh, Hillgrove.
Hillgrove's gonna... He'd be left with a lolly stick with a face drawn on it.
He will be. This is Cardinal Lollies. He's my new client. He's going to be top of the pops. Well, lollipops anyway. We can take him to the... Yeah, I don't hold out a lot of hope for Hillgrove. He's a shipwreck of a man. He's an
What's
accident
Bannatyne
waiting.
going to think with that message?
I know. I think he might beat us up. Do you know what? We've got to stop winding people up, Matt. Seagal,
I know.
Gallagher, Bannatyne. What if they team
They're
up?
all hard. One's thrown someone in the sea. One's
A naval
extremely
officer.
hard.
Imagine
Yeah.
if you met a naval officer, you were right. We'd go, aye, Captain, wouldn't we? We wouldn't go, come on, throw him in the sea, the idiot. We'd be respectful. Then who else? Gallagher. Smacks
Gallagher.
anyone in the
Well,
mouth who
he's got
troubles
nothing
him.
against me, because I've never said he had cashew funds.
I think I just want to say for the record, there ain't a part of that man's body that I do not worship and adore. He has distilled sexual charisma, as his brother says, he's the last great rock star.
Maybe,
Now, whatever people have said about his thumbs,
Maybe that's why he's always sticking his finger up in photos, because if he tried to do a thumbs up, people would go, what's that? Is that a cashew nut balanced on a fist?
there's a pink tic-tac peering over a fist horizon. Now listen, stop it, 'cause you'll get me
It
in
was
trouble.
probably just like it was just like one moment you look down and thought, oh, he's got small thumbs, but he hasn't.
He hasn't. He's got lovely. He's all lovely. I love him.
Huge thumbs.
Great big things. They are like baguettes.
Like big toes.
Right, come on. And who's that one?
Baguettes.
Seagal. He's going to do us over and all.
He won't be able to get us.
He's too peaceful. He won't listen to this on the radio, will he?
We'll just say, I'm sorry.
It will say, look, mate, come on, zen and everything. Life is transient, material world and that. Just as an elbow crashes into our windpipes. Right, so what are we listening to? Papa's got a brand new bag.
Papa's got a brand new pig bag.
Why's he got a pig bag for?
Keep his pig in it.
You should just let it run free. Let your piggies run free, baby. Come on, let's have a listen. Papa's got a brand new pig bag. I seen him with it the other day. I don't know what he does with that
The
pig
band's
bag.
called Pig Bag as well.
I know. Why would you think? Why does pig bag keep coming up in someone's life so much? So yeah, we've dealt with that. I think we've dealt with that Bannatyne Hillgrove situation
so smoothly,
very professionally. We've started to build bridges again. You know, be careful building that bridge because Duncan Bannatyne will throw you off it if he's in the wrong mood. So okay, now as keen listeners to our shows and brilliant #1 podcast will be aware, Mr. Nibs, a servant to the show, is in Birmingham now, collecting us a goldfish that a woman who phoned the show last week threatened to execute if we did not take it into our care. I think both of them are on the line now. Mr. Nibs, are you there?
Hello, Russell, I'm here.
Have you got the fish in your custody?
Yeah, it's right in front
We'll
of me.
put it in water! Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. They'll drown in custard! I'm mucking about. You've got it in your custody, have you?
Yeah, it's in a little lunchbox.
It's in a lunchbox? What, like a Star Wars
in
one?
water.
You have got it in water?
Deborah, yeah, it's in water. Deborah brought it in a dog poo bag, a black one.
A dog food bag?
Dog poo bag.
Dog poo bag? That is the most degrading thing. A bag that was designed for dog poo, and she put a fish in it.
Yeah, and it's black, so I'm sure the fish thought it got blind for a few minutes.
Of course it would have done. It'd have been in a hellish world.
Oh, no
dog
one's got
poo
that.
bag. Papa's got a brand new dog poo bag. What are all these unusual bags that keep cropping up in our radio programme? All right, so you've got Christoph in your custody now.
I've got Christoph, yeah, and there's a couple next to me. They said that they saw a guy going past with a snake in a box, so I think this train's like Noah's Ark.
It is like Noah's Ark, a little bit, but don't start thinking that you're some sort of divine being reseeding the animal population, because I think you're getting a bit out of your depth, Nibsy, young man. Now, you're all right. Are you confident you can get the Christoph to us by the end of the show?
Yeah, I should be there in the last half hour, hopefully.
Good lad. Right, so I think Deborah is also on the line. Deborah was the former custodian of this poor fish, a woman that put a fish into a dog poo bag. Deborah, are you there, love?
You don't understand, Russell. I didn't put the fish into the dog poo bag.
What did you do?
What we actually did at breakfast time was build him a travelling tank with a plastic lining. But as we were delving into my bag for my car keys, the plastic bag burst and my handbag was full of water. And because
This is a sign
I
of
had the dog with
preposterous
me, and the only thing you
balderdash.
could decant him into was a dog poo bag.
Hogwash!
And therefore he ended up in a dog poo bag, but it never was intended to
This
be
is the
that
kind
way.
of lie I used to
realised
tell
it.
at school.
Yeah,
Ain't
too
you, man?
convoluted.
Too convoluted. No one's buying that, Deborah.
Just say it's a bag,
Oh,
it's
goodness,
clean.
I had the dog with me, because had I not had the dog with me,
Is there
I would
dog
have had to
poo in
hand the
that
fish over
bag?
dead,
Deborah?
or give Mr Nibs my handbag.
Deborah, be quiet. Did you not also fail to meet Mr. Nibs at the designated time at Birmingham Station?
He wasn't where we were meant to be. I
Don't
was
blame
on
Mr.
platform
Nibs.
2 for a quarter of an hour and he didn't turn up.
Nibsy walks between the raindrops. He'll be anywhere you want him.
He's like a little ninja.
I
Don't
even went up to
criticise
the little
Nibs.
Chinese guy and said, "Excuse me, are you Mr Nibs?" And he wasn't.
What are you kind of troubling the members of the Chinese community for? Give him a break, asking him if...
My daughter said, "That could be Mr Nibs. So he looks like he's looking for somebody." And we went up to this poor chap who didn't speak very much English and asked him if he was Mr Nibs, and he said he wasn't. So.
Deborah, you're a despicable woman. 1 minute you're killing fish,
Before.
then you're harassing people at Birmingham Station. What's the problem? Have you got any other pet? Right, so now look, Christoph the fish is safely in the hands of Mr. Nibs. Do you feel any sense of regret?
Oh, no, not at all. It's lovely here. I've washed out my vase that he did used to live
That
in.
better
and
not
I've
be
got
a
roses in my
euphemism.
vase instead.
What is your vase, you dirty character? Crikey. So, all right, so you used to have him in a vase, then he put him in a dog poo bag.
Yeah.
So good job we got him off you when he did, because what would have been next? An egg cup, your own eyelids. It's ridiculous the way you've
We were
treated
in
him.
a handbag for about 30 minutes, but there we are. We did manage to rescue him into a dog poo bag.
Yeah, well,
No
that's
wonder he's
not
got
much
low
of a rescue.
self-esteem.
Yeah, anyone who's forced to live in a dog poo bag, it would lower their sense of self-worth.
Hope his wife's not
Have a
looking
look.
down.
Oh,
on
you
him.
haven't got him there yet.
No, he ain't. Mr. Nibs is in transit because you were not at the designated place, so he's a little bit late. We just hope that he gets
Well,
here.
I was there, honestly, I was.
Deborah, you're in that case. Thank you very much for Christoph. I reckon we can prolong his life after your reign of terror.
I shall look forward to seeing him on the webcam.
You are the goldfish version of Mary Chipperfield. Now, it's been lovely talking to you, Deborah. Take care, my
And
love.
you. Bye, Roswell.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Take care. So that'll be good to have little Christoph the fish, because we use Wogan's studio, so let's just leave him here in Wogan's studio, then Wogan will have to feed him the rest of the
But what
week.
if he's all floating upside down with low self-esteem?
What Wogan made, like, spy him out as weak and attack like he
Yeah.
does on Eurovision.
He'll just put his big red hand and crush it.
Just pluck it out of the bowl and eat it. Here, Mr. Nibs, you there? Nibs! Focus, Nibs, you're turning into a robot. Cut him off, he's mental. We can't trust him anymore either. So we're going to have some newsy poos now. Right, okay then, so why don't we go over to Andrew Simmons, who just blinkedly ignores all of our overtures now, Matt, you may as well know.
I know.
We might as well say, Andrea Simmons confessed to being a lesbian during this news. I don't know if she is or isn't, and frankly,
You better
I
hope
don't
she's
care.
not now.
Why?
Well, you just told her, you know, you might have outed her.
I hope she is a lesbian. I think that would be good. It will certainly add a little bit of spice to our under the desk while she reads the news paradigm that we're always on about. Okay, from 88 to 91 FM, this is Radio 2 from the BBC. Here is the news. Yeah. Teary.
Your call has been forwarded to the T-Mobile voicemail service.
Oh, it's not available.
At the tone,
It's not
please
big.
record your message.
Clip all the...
When you have finished, you may hang up, or press 1 to change your message.
Hello, Duncan. Hello, Duncan. It is I, the ghost of the captain that you chucked into the sea that fateful day. Why'd you do it, Duncan? Why'd you hurl me into the drink? I'm the ghosty, and even though you've been well successful in that since then, my ghost has always been following you. I urge you, as the ghosty of the sea captain that you threw into the sea, forgive Richard Hillgrove. Give him his job back. Give him his job back, or you'll forever be stalked by guilty memories. Well done with the ice cream business, by the way, that were brilliant. But you were wrong to throw me into the sea. Bye. Love you. Bye. Ah, good old life. I don't know what Bannatyne's
If
going.
he's in San Francisco, why is his ring still...
No, it was a bit weird though. It was a bit... It was a bit like a American ring, wasn't it? Come on, mate. Come on, shape up if people think you don't make transatlantic phone calls. Right, now there's a few other things to discuss. What's Bannatyne going to do? He's going to get wound up by this harassment, isn't he?
Well, let's just hope that guy didn't die.
That was your idea, you idiot!
And you fell for it, you fool.
Never mind. It's not our fault if people die. Like, who are you going to blame?
He threw him.
He threw him. We never threw no one down into the sea. Once, though, when I was on drugs, I hung over the edge of a boat to impress a girl. She didn't think it was that good. I was on a boat. I thought, I goes, look, this is how much I want to get off with you and that. And hang off the edge of this cruiser. And she just thought it was stupid.
What were you doing? What was that like? Because you'd seen Titanic?
I think, I just can't remember what I was seeing now. It's still the effects of the Doors, to tell you the truth, Matt. You know, just reckless,
And what did you do,
shame-istic
hang over the
behaviour.
side of a boat?
Yeah, it was like a cruiser in the Aegean Sea. It was that when I was doing that Cruise of the Gods with
yeah.
Coogan and Bryden and Williams, you know, and I was just doing a little part and I got sacked off it eventually for these sort of antics. I just hung off the edge of a boat and goes, hey, look how much I want to kiss you and that. Just hanging there like a nerd.
Were you hanging on the inside of the boat?
Yes, and I was hanging on the edge of the lifeboat that was itself within the confines of the main boat, so it weren't that really much of a challenge. In all honesty, no, it's stupid of me to do stuff like that. You shouldn't do it.
Did she kiss you?
Yeah, actually, she did in the end, but that was, you know, only because of other techniques that I used that were much more crafty. Dear boys, says Amy Croftswaite, I really hope you're going to look after that fish. Our fish Bert had the same bladder condition as the fish we're looking after, Christoph. We know he's got a bladder condition?
How do you know a fish has got a bladder condition?
How would you know? Because he lives in water anyway.
Yeah.
What would you go, oh, that wee looked a bit discoloured? Or did he squint then when he done it?
Unless they go right up to the surface and way out the edge of the bowl.
Yeah, I'd go, Christ! That sting! No more, let's not be puerile, 'cause remember, we've got that tendency to be puerile. We can't help ourselves.
I don't.
You do, mate. You just talked about urine, fish wee just then. If you need extra info on goldfish, look on the RSPCA website. Your fish will need cleaning out every week. Ugh. And feeding every day with proper fish food. What do you think we're going to give it? Sausages? We're going to tip a fry up into
Fish
its
are
bowl?
idiots, aren't they? Because you can overfeed them. They'll just keep eating
Just
until they
keep
burst.
eating. Why not stop eating when you've had enough?
They don't
like
know
me.
they're full up.
They don't know they're full up. They're just like, oh, more dinner, more dinner. Plus fish food, it's not very substantial, is it, to die of that?
I really like the smell of it.
I hate the smell of it. That's really weird.
I remember when you used to have a fish, didn't you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I used to sit and smell your fish food.
I know, and you were the only person. I was always trying to ensnare people into smelling that fish food, and you just leapt upon it. And oddly, the fish food was made of fish. Why do that?
No, it was fish. Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah,
It was
you looked at
flakes of
ingredients.
what looked
It's
like sort of bad confetti.
Yeah, bad confetti, stinky confetti. Yeah. For stinky confetti for a damned wedding. Your fish will need cleaning out every week. If you don't feel you can cope, I'll be happy to foster the fish for you. I already have two, which I rescued from a friend's house, says Amy. We can cope with a fish anyway. We ain't here all week. Wogan will have to deal with it, won't he?
Yeah.
Wogan will be alright, won't he? You don't
know.
When Mr. Nibs gets you with that fish, why don't we just go, look, we're bored for the idea of having a
Let's
fish
just
now.
deny all knowledge of it and go, what are you
just-
doing?
what's-
Why have you brought fish here?
Mr. Nibs, you've just had the most remarkable dream. We've never ever met you before. What on earth are you doing? Right, now, Matthew, you might remember last week, I don't know if you do or not, it's impossible to tell. But last week I said, like, I got really upset when I was at Gray's school, when you're in about the first year, second year, I can't remember, right? And they go, right, all the girls, you get this special lecture now on tampons and, you know,
Yeah, I remember you being
sanitary
upset.
products.
So what year is that now? They say year 10.
Year 10 or something, I don't know how it works. But like, the boys, what are we going to do? Where's our lecture? The girls get a lecture on tampons and sanitary products and you know, and
Yeah, imagine you'd been in there and
hygiene.
you'd just been laughing.
I would not, mate. I'd have been listening and learning and probably have grown up a more sympathetic man for the experience.
Yeah, maybe.
And, like, you know, I'd have liked it as well. I expect, do you reckon there was videos or something of How's Your Father going on in the you know, to explain it?
No.
No, fair enough. Well, anyway, this girl, Anna, says, hello, I've just been listening to your podcast about the tampon lesson you missed out on when you were at school. I'm a couple of years older than you, and my friend and I were in the video shown at schools. I went to a school in Essex, a posher area than yours, though. A film crew came to our school and asked to film my friend and I playing tennis for the video. Doesn't sound like a
This
tampon.
link between
Tennis
menstruation and tennis.
Yeah. What's going on? What does it...
And roller skating as well. It's
roller
always the
skating,
same thing.
tennis. How's that going to...
Oh, I know why. I've just realised.
Go on.
Because they wear white clothes.
White clothes. Well done, Matthew. Brilliant.
It plays on the old psychological
Yeah, you
panic.
think, oh, white clothes. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, and isn't it that they use blue liquid to demonstrate things like nappies absorbing stuff and tampons absorbing stuff, because you think there's no option. You couldn't use yellow, because wee, couldn't use green, because pus, couldn't use red, because blood, couldn't use any other colours, because there aren't none. We never saw the finished video, says this girl, Anna. Which would have been interesting. When they were filming, we couldn't keep a rally going and we kept swearing at each other. We were like John McEnroe. The really embarrassing thing was the following year, all the first year girls kept pointing and shrieking at us and kept going, "You're the girls in the period film." Not like a Jane Austen movie, but one about actual periods. We were like film stars. The boys took this to mean we must have been naked, pervy, porno lesbians in the documentary. So you missed the blinder. I knew it! I knew it. Well, we
You
can...
still think like that, because that's what you thought. I bet you saw sex in there.
I bet something went on in that classroom that I should have been privy to. Well, we're going to talk to that girl and we'll find out more what went on in that secret tampon lesson. So, guys, the secret's over. We're going to lift the veil of secrecy once and for all. It's going to be a hell of a show. Let's ring Noel Gallagher as well. I just forgot what it is I put on my head during radio shows and put a hat on when, in fact, I was looking for headphones because I can't hear myself think. Right, I want to say thank you to the British Broadcasting Press Guild thing, please, because they gave me an award. Thank you for my award. Gareth, who's a producer that works on me and Matt's forthcoming Channel 4 television show starting in the autumn, said that he went and collected the award for us because he was off doing something else, and I had to pre-record a thing, and like a pre-record, you know, sometimes if someone's not an award ceremony, they go,
Is that
oh,
the first time
unfortunately-
you've done that?
Yes, it is actually,
That's
Matthew, yes.
quite a landmark, isn't it, when
It
you don't
is.
turn up?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm sorry,
Sorry
I can't be there. Did
tonight.
you say sorry I can't be there?
I don't know. I think I did it in a very postmodern way, but like I was being. The thing is, what I didn't realise is that broadcasting awards. That's good, right? And I thought because it sounds a bit convoluted, British Broadcasting Press Guild, too many adjectives and words. I thought this can't be that good, so I didn't take
Well,
it.
that's how you're judging things these days.
Well, yeah. If something's called like I don't know. Texas, you know where you stand. If it's called, it's a state in the South of America, we do oil there, and we've got crazy views, then you start to convolute stuff.
Fair enough.
See? That's how my brain box works. So, anyway, but it was good that I got that award, and I'm ever so grateful, thank you. But I said things like, I used it as a platform to, like, have a pop at, like, you know, like, sort of, like, TV critics, thank you very much, like, Ali Ross out the Sun, he's always having a dig. I think, do one, you mug. Always having a pop, right? Ali Ross, then this other bloke, Ewan Ferguson. So I was a bit arrogant, do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of it, I was going, oh, and by the way, you lot, I just wanted to know, while you're scribbling your sort of pejorative little notes, I'm out there living it, son! I'm getting right amongst it! I'm having it large! That kind of general gist of message. But then after I'd done it, I thought, oh no, that's really arrogant. That's going to look terrible on a screen where Stephen Fry is turning up and that. But Gareth told me that it come across well and funny. So in a way, the real message is arrogance is a nice trait. Yeah, look, so this is it. It was the best comedy and entertainment programme, The Royal Family, cool. Radio broadcaster of the year, Sandy Toksvig. Well, she's good, isn't she, Sandy Toksvig? I remember, number 73. That was a good programme. Yeah. Radio programme of the year, down the line. Oh, is that one? Is that, with Rhys Thomas and all them lot? That's really good, isn't it? And best TV performer in non-acting role. Oh, Russ! That's who. And
what?
Stephen
TV
Fry.
Non-acting?
Yeah, non-acting.
Oh, that ain't going to help you in Hollywood, is it?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go Hollywood.
He's won an award for non-acting.
Right, when he's non-acting, he's fine. We give him an award for non-acting. Uh-oh, he's acting!
Oh, God, here he goes.
Stop acting! Do some of that non-acting! Non-acting, I'm a world-class non-actor. He's one of the best non-actors known to men. Right, so thanks for my lovely award. I appreciate it. Sorry for coming across a bit sarky. And I offer genuine love to all people, you know, except murderers, all them.
And TV critics.
Oh, them gits, I could, I'd like a plunge. So, hold on, right, so we've missed some good things, anyone who's just tuned in. We've left some funny messages for Duncan Bannatyne on his phone, haven't we? First of all, we left one, like, trying to get him back with his agent. Richard Hillgrove, by singing down his answer phone, baby come back, bye. Then after that, we rang up and pretended to be the ghost of a Scottish captain that he threw into the sea, because he threw his commanding officer into the sea. Well, fun it was. But now we've got to deal with the rather pressing issue, and I use the word pressing very deliberately, of when we men folk were excluded from the tampon lecture at school simply because we don't have vaginas or a menstrual cycle. Now, we've got on the phone, it's Anna, who starred in the educational video for the Essex area for what the hell to do when you have a period. Now, Anna, what are you like as a person? Hello! Anna, are you there?
Yeah, hi, Russell.
Hi, all right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got a lot of questions. So what happened? What is your connection to this lecture that men are excluded from?
Well, the film crew came into our school when I was about 14, 15, and asked to film my friend and myself playing a rally of tennis for the video.
Right. For the tampon, Matt worked out brilliantly that is because you wear white for tennis, and that is a advantageous thing to be able to, like, conceal any sort of menstrual, I don't know, indicator.
Minefield.
It's okay, I can use language. So, yeah, how did it work out then? What was it like doing that film, and what the hell went on in that lecture?
Okay, doing the film was okay. We got a good rally going. Then the film crew asked to film us, and
you got
we
nervous.
couldn't hit a ball for love nor money.
That's what it's like being a man, yeah? It's difficult. Don't film sex. That's my advice, Jeff. Why would you film sex anyway? It's best just to have it rather than watch it. If you're going to watch it, watch someone else doing it.
There was nothing sexual in it at all.
Fair enough. I'm not saying it was sexual. Why are you saying it was sexual? So, okay, right, so you couldn't do the rally on command. Now, surely you had high status when in that lecture, because you were sort of the stars of the show. So when they came to your school to give the old menstrual cycle lecture, were you able to sit on sort of golden thrones up the front?
No, we'd already seen the previous film. We didn't actually ever get to see the finished film with us in it, but we knew we were in it because although we tried to put it to the back of our minds, the next year all the little first year girls in the end of September, October time started shrieking and pointing at us and saying, "You're the girls in the period film," which is really embarrassing when you're in the 5th year.
Must be humiliating.
All the boys, of course, then thought that we were a pair of lesbians.
Of course they would. And why wouldn't they? And what evidence have you got to prove that you're not, Anna, in all frankness? Now, what happened in that lecture? Come on, let's talk us through it. Right, because this is as far as I know. Okay, boys, you can all clear off because the girls are getting a special thing that you're not allowed anything to do with now. Right, girls, come into the assembly room or hall or whatever it was called. Yeah. Lads, nick off out of it. Right. that's when I go skulking off alone in the playground. What happens to you from that point?
Okay, so you go in and they've got one of these big screens up, and
you go behind the screen.
What's behind the screen?
And the video is basically groups of girls going about their daily life, chatting together, playing sport, etc., etc. And then, I mean, it is going back 23 years now, Russell. I can't remember every detail.
Remember the details!
But then they sort of say, OK, maybe one of these girls has their period, but it doesn't end your life there. Your life can continue.
Of course it can.
It's a bit dramatic.
Then it goes on to just basically a 2D model showing how a girl's body changes.
What, you get a model? You get a model?
No.
So, hold on, there's mixed media, there's sculptures, there's films. I knew this was brilliant. What's the model like?
Nudie model.
No,
Nudie
it was
model?
just on the screen. It was nothing. It was like a little cartoon caricature.
Oh, was it Wilma Flintstone? I love her.
I knew it, Peter. Did she get off with Betty? Oh, I knew they were at it. While Barney and Fred stand at the sides, bumping and grinding. Baby, come back. I hope you're listening to this, Bannatyne, because you missed out on it all, but it drove him on to become a millionaire and a mutineer. But us people like me and Matt, we've bared grudges. No, you didn't, 'cause you went to an all-boys school, so no one had periods there, and if they did, they were outcasts. How can you ever justify that to the nuns? So, OK, right, then they show you a cartoon figure having a period. Then what?
Then, that's the end of the film, and then I think the woman that took the lesson is actually a representative from a tampon company.
Right, it's business, it's corporate. I knew it was consumerism.
Terrible.
They shouldn't be allowed in the school, like when they let a boy band come into the school.
Yeah.
They do let that happen. They let a boy band come to the school and do singing at you.
When does that happen?
Didn't happen at my school.
I think it was an episode of Grange Hill. I don't know if that was real, actually, thinking about it now. Yeah, and then Zammo died. What's going on in that place? All right, then. Well, you've given us the lowdown. Have you been tempted to make any films since about anything, really?
No, that really did put me off.
Right. Oh,
time.
that's a shame. Well, it sounds to me like you've contributed very well to the education of young women getting to know themselves and their bodies, but then forming an allegiance to a particular product for a lifetime manipulative marketing strategy there.
It's mad, isn't it?
By venal companies. But
You didn't really miss out, Russell.
I still feel a bit angry about it, because I like the idea of the cartoon.
Free pack of tampons, but that's about it, really.
Free tampons now? Keep rubbing salt into the wound, why don't you? You had me at hello, baby, come back to Well, Anna, thank you very much for being our insider on the menstrual cycle. Appreciate that.
Oh, cheers, Russell.
Thank you. Bye-bye, darling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I can't help but wonder, Matty Morgs, how Mr. Nibbs is getting on his quest, on his odyssey, bringing us Christoph the goldfish back from Birmingham. Last time we heard him, he was turning into some sort of cyborg. Do you remember? Yeah. I goes, Mr. Nibbs, what's happening? And he went, he's either becoming some sort of robot king, or there's a problem with his signal, what of him being on a train and everything. But I rather fancy that boy is slowly but surely becoming an android.
I don't think he's going to be here on time.
I don't think he's going to be here on time, but luckily we've got some shows over the coming weeks, and we can, you know, fill people in on what happens to that fish. And how Wogan reacts to it, more importantly, because a lot of people are thinking that Wogan, once he sees a fish in his studio, he'll respond really territorially, scoop the fish out in his big hand and gulp it down in one. Or what? Like Matt, when Matt goes early, he goes, why don't we, when Mr. Nibbs gets here, let's get him to eat that fish. King William done it. King William. Matt thinks we live in the Battle of Hastings. it was Prince Harry.
Prince William, one of them ate a fish.
King Willie, Prince Harry.
King William.
It's Prince Harry that done that. William's the one that's got to be sensible, because he's got, you know, he's got to be head of state.
Yeah, because he's going to be King Willie.
King Willie. There's a title to be endeavoured after. So, OK, right, now we'd like to dedicate this track to a certain someone who we may have offended. I may have done some childish impressions, then we may have left some childish answer phone messages. But please, Duncan Bannatyne, don't blame Richard Hillgrove, because your cowboy agent who looks after such stars as Chris Eubank, well, before he got brassed off with Eubank, and Seagal, and Norfolk farmer Tony Martin.
Shut up.
He looks after a galaxy of stars. He's got this message to send to you, Duncan Bannatyne.
be your crutch, but I'm afraid I have other people who need to lean on me.
You weren't crutch, you were doing a bleeding great leg sweep on me. We were doing a lovely item about Duncan Bannatyne. You come in here, get your arse out, shout us your nuts, and then tell everyone I'm insecure wreck.
Thou Scottish that he is.
We'll beep it. People will know you swore. Jonathan Ross, everyone, the king of our entertainment industry. Swaggers off. Thank you for your weekly input of vileness. Off he goes there, wearing sunglasses, great big cocky, swaggering Jonathan Ross, effing and blinding on our programme. So, sorry about that. That was to you, Duncan Bannatyne, from Richard Hillgrove and Jonathan Ross, as it turns out. So, what have we got on the line now? Have we got Mr. Nibbs? Because remember, we're trying to get this goldfish here in time for the end of the show. Let's see if young Mr. Nibbs is anywhere closer. Oh, Mikey's floundering around with a phone like a pervert being caught onto a fiddle line.
I tried to say, no, it's not ready, but I did that super grand thing.
Yeah, you did, yeah. Matt tried to communicate Mikey ain't ready by doing super grand thing when she's about to employ her powers. Hang about like it. It's Bannatyne.
It's Nibsy.
Nibsy, are you there, young man? Nibsy! What's wrong with that boy? Mr. Nibbs, you there, dear? Have you got
yeah.
What are you doing? Mr. Nibbs, you sound confused and frightened. What have you done?
I'm going through tunnels at the moment.
You're going through tunnel? Well, just get
on the train.
Grow up. Stop potholing. You've got a fish in a dog poo bag. I can't hear you. Listen, Nibbs, you better get that guy. If you harm one hair on that fish's head, I tell you, I'll take you to the cleaners, young man.
Right, okay.
Now, how far are you?
I'm about 5 minutes away of getting into the station.
He's 5 minutes from Birmingham.
Well, hang on,
He'll
in
go
Birmingham?
to Euston, won't he?
No, from London Euston.
He'll get 5 minutes from London Euston. Get in a cab, yeah? He's getting a cab
Yeah.
from there. All right, we'll see you in a bit, Nibbs. Right,
Okay, see you, Russell.
don't panic. Don't kill the fish. If you get hungry, buy a bar of chocolate or something.
Okay.
That boy lives on his nerves, doesn't he?
He seems a bit annoyed.
Yeah, what is
Yes, I'm in London Euston.
I'm in London Euston. I've had a very difficult morning with the... I can't get the fish off. I've been breastfeeding all night. It's a strange young man, isn't he, little Mr. Nibbs? Right, hold on, I owe an apology. I think I did say that the DeLorean was made by... it was funded by Thatcher's government, and it was Northern Ireland. It didn't come out of the Republic or ERA, which means Free State of Ireland. I think I mixed stuff up. If I did mix up, I'm
is
dead
this another
sorry.
minefield?
No, I'm just saying the DeLorean, that car out of Back to the Future, but before that just a car funded by Thatcher's government in Northern Ireland, not ERA, the Free State of Ireland. Just wanted to clear up my main mistakes. I don't know much about things.
You had a death threat.
No more of those, thank you, for this week. Hey, what do you think of my knockers?
I don't like seeing them.
Alright, fair enough. So, have we got much pressure on? What have we got to do before the end of the show? Noel Gallagher, be nice to talk to him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be lovely.
Lovely to have a bit of a chat with him. I spoke to him briefly early in the week. So, right, hold on, there's another thing I want to clear up. Matt, you said there's something wrong with your spine or something. What's up with you?
Well, I like to go to the osteopath again this week.
Yeah?
It's not bad. It's
How's the competition going? Because I'm getting on pretty well. Matthew and I share Gavin, the osteopath. I've got in quite a good relationship going with him now.
That's because you go there too much.
I like it in there.
Well, he said to me, oh, your sidekick was in the week.
Oh, did he? Yeah, little wry joke from Gavin.
And also, I've got to buy something called a back knobber.
A back knobber?
Yep.
Blimey.
Back
and then you have a go at me for running on Hampstead Heath. The irony of it. What are you going to do with that back knobber then?
Well, it's a thing so you can, you can't ever massage your own back.
No, of course you can't. What do you mean?
You can now with a back knobber.
Stop advertising back knobbers. You won't get one for nothing.
In fact, the back knobber too, I've got to get.
Stop trying to get a free back knobber.
I'm not. I'm going to go and buy one.
Good. But
I'd like to get a free one.
Stop plugging back knobbers. I've never known anyone plug a back knobber like you plug a back knobber.
Never heard of back knobbers.
I know about back knobbers. Young man, get hold of your tongue, sunshine.
Well, I'm going to go and buy one soon.
All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get no.
I bet you'll have one within the week.
What's up with your back exactly?
Just hurts a bit. It's all right.
Right, what about this bloke who once said to me in a cab? He goes, oh, well, it's like the age-old question. He goes, is a BJ being unfaithful? Because that's not an age-old question. It is being unfaithful. Like as if that had been troubling philosophers since the dawn of time. It's the age-old question, isn't it? is BJ cheating?
Did he just come out with that, or was it part of a conversation?
No, it wasn't part of a conversation. It was part of the rest of the conversation. He was saying things that were a bit homophobic or racist. Then he came out with that. I was trying to, you know, when like you sort of think of that human obligation, if someone's being homophobic or racist, to go, I'm not really into homophobia or racism, mate, so chill out with it a bit, but like in a polite and inclusive way, so as not to respond with hate. Then he hit me with that thing, and it it confounded me.
Was he trying to chat you up?
Well, he got.
I mean, look at it, such a little thing.
Well, I don't know whether he was or wasn't, Matt, but I'll tell you one thing: I didn't pay a cash fare for that for that particular ride.
What did you say to him? Did he go, I think it is cheating?
I just didn't. I don't. You know, something you get like when someone knocks you off centre, right? You sometimes don't really respond to them. It wasn't until later that I thought that was a mental thing to come out with. I didn't really say at the time. That's not an age-old question. Like, you know, if the universe is infinite? How can that be? Or if it's not infinite, what's beyond the confines of the universe? You know, something that genuinely baffles you. Is a BJ cheating? I think we can clear up once and for all.
Did he say BJ as well?
No, he said it properly, but I'm trying to sidestep the issue for you know, for our radio programme.
Well, the kids
this is on the BBC. Yeah, yeah, you're doing a BJ, you numpty.
How much for a BJ?
Give us I don't think children see prostitutes. I don't know if that's how it works in the playground. Mind you,
cab drivers do that.
Cab drivers apparently do. Lorry drivers. No, come on, let's not say things. Right, everyone, you're all right by us. That's 2 thumbs up. Leave it to everyone in the world. Right, so okay, hold on. Oh yeah, no, go.
What are you floundering about?
I'm not floundering. I'm on top of my game. I've never felt so good. I'm in the form of my life, mate. You should have seen me at the Albert Hall.
I did see you at the Albert Hall.
Yeah, I know. Except my cousin were there when he acting up. Yeah, I don't know. I worry about them a lot. I really do. Yeah, hold on. Noel Gallagher's phone's ringing. Let's see if... Ring. Let's leave him a message. Let's say, baby...
There he is.
All right, no, it's Russell.
Yes, I know. It comes up, Russell, doesn't it?
Ah.
Rusty Bandit comes up.
Rusty Band? Is that what on your phone has?
Yeah, but it's the same amount of syllables as Dusty Bin.
It has. There's no reason to start associating me with Dusty Bin. I hated that confusing little dick.
No, it's alright.
It's not alright. Why are you standing up?
You're alright, and he was alright.
Thanks, mate. I'm glad you're standing up for me and Dusty. Yeah, Noel, can we ring you back? Because this is actually on the radio, but you've managed, for the first time in recent memory, to get through 20 seconds of conversation without slandering anyone or saying the F word. Congratulations. We'll get you a medal.
Yes, give the call back.
All right, we'll ring you back. Talk to you a bit, Noel. Bye. See you, bye, mate. Let's put on the record, then talk to Noel Gallagher.
Bye.
How about he did say bye.
How would he know that?
Perhaps he knows about the Bannatyne thing. Perhaps somehow with this radio show is connected to Noel Gallagher, because, you know, he's been a long-time friend of this show. So let's listen to Louie, shall we? And then we'll have a chat to Noel. Nolan. Yeah! This is Louie by the Kingsmen. That was Louie by the Kingsmen. You listen to Russell Brand on Radio 2. This is Nolan.
What tune?
Well, it's good, isn't it?
What? I'm just saying to Sarah, we're going to play that as our child's been born in September.
Yeah, why not? Perhaps call it, Louis. You said you were going to call your child Russell for the first 6 weeks of its life, regardless
I'm going to call it Little Russell, yeah. For the first 6 weeks.
Good.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Until you think of a name, then you'll think of a name that suits its personality.
And then I'll think of a proper name, yeah.
Oi, Russell is a proper name. A lot of noble men are called it. Russell Crowe, Russell Grant, me.
No, Russell is a word.
Yeah.
Right?
So...
But it's not a name.
Hey, come on, it's kind of a name when you associate with me. So, we both done Albert Hall gigs this week. Some of those gigs could be called a tremendous triumph. Others could be referred to as a mediocre slog.
Yeah, well, one of them could be referred to as just 2 effeminate wannabe goths mincing around on stage.
How is Paul Weller?
I'm all going to tell him that you said that.
No! Not Weller!
No, I'm sure you've with him now.
I'm worried enough about your brother. Because I said...
No, that bit's funny, though.
Yeah, that was... I've done some good jokes about...
He's got an hairy arsehole. That is funny.
That's a good joke of mine. Don't blow it on the airwaves. I've very nearly said another swear word. Yeah. So we've got loads of things to tell you, actually, Noel. Here they are. Right. Well, Matt keeps going on because I once observed that your brother, your kid, as you call him, has got quite delicate thumbs. Like
small thumbs.
Well, I mean, you know, he's your brother. I've noticed your thumbs seem pretty typical to me. But like, I just once observed, and then Matt's trying to stir up a storm, an hornet's nest, by keep going on saying that I said they look like cashews. Have you ever noticed anything unusual about Liam's thumbs?
No.
Neither have I. He's a lovely. I love him, and I don't want any violent onslaughts.
Sarah. Talking about Liam's hands.
That's quite small.
Yeah, Sarah's saying they're quite small.
There you are then, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Hang on a minute. Russell's saying Liam's got thumbs like cashew nuts. She's saying they're more like little bear's paws.
Oh, nice, it's true.
So they're quite sweet then. I've
never noticed.
That's weird. I suppose I don't know where your focus is, but yeah, I mean, it's not.
I don't focus on it. Well, he's always got his mirrored shades on when I'm talking to him, so my focus is usually on my own reflection in his sunglasses.
Which is pretty befitting of a narcissist such as yourself, Noel.
It's like staring into the snake's eyes in the Jungle Book when I look at myself in the mirror.
Very much, you are an hypnotic character. We've got ourselves in a bit of trouble, really, over the course of this show, right? Because you know Duncan Bannatyne out of Dragon's Den?
No.
Well, you know Dragon's Den. You watch Meerkat Manor. You probably.
And do you know why I don't know him?
Why?
Because I've got a life, Russell.
Hey, now, come on. No one's disputing that. It's a wonderful thing. Well, anyway,
Right, explain to me Dragon's Den briefly, if you can.
If people turn up with inventions before a panel of 5 entrepreneurs and they have to go...
Oh, yeah. Is it called the Dragon's Den?
It's called Dragon's Den, yeah.
That's rubbish. That sounds like some game, like medieval game show.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I think they're trying to make it sound a bit more, you know...
Dragon's Den. Is that, so there's a Scottish guy on it?
Yeah. Called Duncan Bannatyne.
Yeah. My Scottish correspondent here is piping up in the background.
Oh, yeah, Sarah McDonald.
Oh, she likes them. Yeah, right, I've seen where they go. I want to come out and I'm going to invent a milk bottle that flies to the moon. And he says, no, I'm not having it, pal.
That's it.
That kind of thing.
That's the fella. Now, because we did an impression of him, less detrimental than the one you've done, might I add. He sacked because his PR agent is also the PR agent of Steven Seagal, right? You know, we had Steven Seagal on the other week.
What a legend.
Yeah, we had Seagal on, although Matt was having a pop at him about his Barnet, right? We had Steven Seagal on, then Richard Hillgrove, the PR man of Bannatyne and Seagal, was there, and I did some little brief impression of Bannatyne, and then it was in the paper that Bannatyne sacked him.
Do the impression for me, go on.
Oh, crikey.
Oh, well, you stand back.
I didn't take it into the balladeering proportions, it was just a brief kind of, oh no, look at that invention, I'll no invest a penny in it. Go on, I'd rather have a lolly stick. Things like that, right? Bannatyne heard about it and sacked Richard Hillgrove, his PR man. So then we called up Richard Hillgrove today on the show and goes, "Oh, you all right?" And he said he was all right, but he said he was also sat at the roadside, like his life's falling apart, right? And then so we phoned up Duncan Bannatyne and he was in San Francisco and left a message on his answer phone singing that Pat O'Bannon song, "Baby, come back, bye 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 bye," down his answer phone. Then, right, guess what Duncan Bannatyne done, right, mate? When he was in the Navy, he used to be in the Navy, a commanding officer was issuing some commands, as he has to, as a commanding officer. Bannatyne picked him up and threw him in the sea, right? So we left another message going, "Oh, I'm the ghosty of the commanding officer you threw into the sea. I wish you all the best with the ice cream business." Right, we've left him all these mental answer phone messages and that. Thought perhaps you might like to join in and leave him one now.
Get him on, if you can get him on that, I'll sort him out.
All right, nice one.
I mean, what, a minute and a half?
All right, well, hold on a sec, because we'll do it now. Young Mikey's dialing the number. In a minute, we'll hear it ring and everything.
Right. What's his name? Duncan?
Duncan, yeah, you leave me. Try not to swear or anything, Noel, because... all
right, I'll try. You'll
be all right. And also, while we're waiting, I should tell you that Matt Morgan pinched Carl Barat out of Dirty Pretty Things' arse on the way to the Albert Hall the other night, and Carl Barat sort of spun round, a cross between Alan Partridge and Grasshopper. And so went, "Watch it! I'll have you!"
I've got to say, my Sarah, she has dreams about pinching Carl Barat's arse, don't you, Sarah?
A lot of people say he's got a very nice female arse.
Watch out.
Yeah, no, she She sleep cheats on me, Sarah, with Carl Barat.
She sleep cheats? How come I don't get no sleep cheating with your woman?
I got him on the phone.
That's Bannatyne's phone ringing. Hold up, because he won't answer it. It'll be his answer phone, unless by now he's been awoken like a big Scottish giant.
Well, more fool him.
Right, in a minute you'll hear all the normal business, like all the... Leave your message.
Your call has been forwarded
right, so that's
to
his,
T-Mobile
that's his
voicemail
thing.
service.
So remember, he sacked his agent, he sacked his PR man, Richard Hillgrove, and he threw his naval officer into the sea, and he's cross about us.
I'm just going to offer my services.
Yeah. Go on, Noel. No, it's over to you.
Right, it's Noel. I've got a great invention for you. I've got a milk ball that's got a flight to the moon, right? And I could make 500 grand, and I could make 500 more. Give us a call back.
Woohoo! We're harassing Bannatyne through the San Francisco night. Well done. That's good. That's 3 really weird messages he's got on his answer phone now. That's really going to freak him out in the morning, isn't it?
He's actually going to think he's quite special, isn't he?
I would think the attention...
When really, actually, he's an idiot. He is an idiot.
We can't endorse that. We're trying to get him back together with his PR man. Last thing we need is you kicking off against him, condemning him. Well done, though. Thanks for joining in with the spirit of things there. We'll keep you up posted on whether Bannatyne gets
I don't know
back.
whether you've noticed, but we are actually... Well, I'm actually still drunk from last night. Sarah's not drunk, actually.
You're a bit drunk from last night?
Well, we're up in Manchester. We're doing some gig for some other charity or other. You know what I mean? These are what's commonly known as the charity years.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of charity work, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it's just in case. It's just in case I catch anything. You know what I mean? It's like, And we were up in Manchester last night, and it all got a bit messy. But I'm actually quite amazed I've not swore yet.
Who did you see people from your past or anything?
Let me see who played last night. Echo and his Bunnymen.
Yeah.
They was on. The Charlatans and Paul Weller.
Wow.
They was on. Ian Brown, he was on.
Brilliant.
Of course, I done my little bit.
Well, naturally.
And then there was an all-star jamboree at the end, which I bowed out of.
You didn't do the jamboree?
No, because it was kind of like all sat around singing "We Shall Overcome." I'm not into all that nonsense.
Right, yeah, a bit sort of sentimental, I suppose.
Yeah, but it was all right though.
Another thing that Matt said, right, offending someone else, was he said Tim Burgess out of Charlatans looks like a little engine driver with rosy cheeks.
Oh dear. Well, he does.
He does. His little cap, and he's got like rouge on.
I like him. I think I'd like to give him a little cuddle. I like to cuddle him too hard. I like, go, come here, you, until he goes, makes a little squeak like a dog. I like to do that with him. He's nice. Yeah. So also the other plot line running through the show, Noel, is that we have sent Mr. Nibbs, an 18-year-old friend of the show, up to Birmingham to get us a goldfish right off this woman who said she had a pet goldfish, but that she was going to kill it. And she phoned up our show, goes, "Oh, have you got any methods to kill a goldfish?" And we goes, "No, don't kill it. We'll have it as our pet because it will have to live in our studio. Then Wogan will have to look after it in a week." And imagine that. That'll be funny. Mr. Nibbs, that 18-year-old's just walked through the door with that fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got us a goldfish. It's Noel Gallagher's on the phone, Mr. Nibbs. Say hello, you little twerp.
You're right, Noel.
All right, Skip.
It's called you Skip then. Right, now...
what are you going to call the fish?
I think we're calling the fish... we're going to call the fish Christoph, unless you've got any better suggestions.
Christoph? You've got to call it Nemo.
Nemo? Why?
Yeah.
That's to do with that film. Why? Because that's the sort of thing that you're... Is this because you're becoming a father again? You've gone all sentimental?
No, it's just that's the first thing that pops into my head.
Yeah, well, that's what you shouldn't say, the first thing that pops into your head, should you? That's why you always get in trouble with your outbursts. What were you saying last week? You said something in the paper like, you know, bring back hanging, or give people an £500,000 reward if their relatives get hung.
Hang on a minute. If I ever, right, get elevated to my rightful position as PM in this country, that would be passed by 9:10 on the first morning.
Hanging?
Hanging.
Why? What's happening?
Too much crime in this country, that's why.
You don't do that. A lot of it was done by you.
I've had enough of walking down the street and seeing Evening Standard special, old man kicked to death for pot noodle. Right?
Yeah, that is bad. Sorry, I don't know why I laughed at that.
Yeah, well, and you laugh and all that because you were a crackhead and all that, and they kind of...
You was a burglar!
Cross and all that.
I don't burgle people.
Send them to the gallows. All of them.
You knee-jerk right-wing lunatic. What do you send people to the gallows for? They probably had difficult childhoods. Not everyone's going to...
Listen, I'll end up writing for the Daily Mail in my old age.
You probably will. You're like Oswald Mosley. Such right-wing extremism.
I don't care.
Get him on.
Get him on.
Yeah, but would you be able... Hold up, Noel. Would you be able to pull the switch or the lever on hanging people? If you had to.
Obviously, I would make you do that. you have to wrestle with your little skinny jeaned conscience. I want to do this because it's all sexual, but I don't want to do it because I'm so right on. But I'd make you do it. All right, I knew.
I'm not here. What? I'm ultra liberal. I wouldn't be involved in no hanging of people.
Hang on a minute. Hey, you've done a few drugs. It doesn't make you right on. And you're going, I can't do them anymore. Oh, I can't drink lager anymore because I might go and rob a porno, man. That doesn't make you right on.
Drugs are bad, incidentally, if you are listening to this radio show. They're bad for you. Don't do drugs. This is just a private contest.
Kids, and if you want to know how bad drugs are, look at a picture of Russell Brand. He's in recovery.
You spiteful, vindictive man.
Eventually, kids, they turn you into a wannabe goth.
Oh, that's a nasty thing to say. Yeah, also, while we're on the subject of hanging or drifting away from it, I don't think they should have hung Saddam Hussein because I liked him. Not that I think he'd done terrible things, but I think he looked a bit like Father Christmas, and they should have let him off.
I'm about as bothered as what goes on in Iraq as I'm bothered about what goes on at Old Trafford.
You are lovely, aren't you? You are meant to quote. We could just write a tabloid based on the last minute of what you've said. I'll pull the switch myself. I'll make you hang people. I don't care what happens in Iraq.
Baghdad, schmagdad, whatever.
Oh, crikey. No, I think I should leave you to take some Alka-Seltzer and have a cuddle with Mum to be Sarah McDonald.
I'm actually holding hands with her right now. We're actually... Good, Sarah, quick, let's come by her.
No.
Go on.
She don't like it. Look at him drunkenly bullying his wife.
No,
stop it, she's pregnant. Right,
she is pregnant, and actually...
Yeah.
She's actually become my own MILF.
You've got... Dirty devil, don't say MILF on Radio 2 because people will work out what the acronym means and they'll do a swear word in their mind and we'll be responsible for it. Noel, thank you for your call and for your toxic views.
I didn't call you. No, thank you for your... You called me.
Oh, yeah. All right, thanks for answering the call for a change and thank you for your extremist Enoch Powell-style views on...
That's the Enoch Powell stuff, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm just talking about sorting crime out, that's all.
You're not Batman. You can't just go swaggering in the streets with bonehead and a chainsaw.
Captain Manchester. I'll have a big shield with the game in the middle of it. Yeah.
That would be lovely. What a wonderful world that would be. We've had Jonathan Ross on here, effing and seeing. We've had Gallagher saying that people need to be hung. I don't know. What a show it's been. Noel, thank you very much for your contribution. I'll talk to you later. Best of luck with your endeavours. I've got to leave soon, so I've got to get to Upton Park, see the Hammers turn over Borough.
Russell?
Yeah?
Keep on singing in the rain.
Thank you very much. God bless you. See you later. Take it easy. Noel. Bye. There he goes, Noel Gallagher. Mr. Nibs is here with the fish. Have we got time for one more song then to wrap things up with Nibs and Mr. G? Okay, what are we going to listen to? Crosstown Traffic. Yeah. That'll cheer us right up. Yeah, a bit of Hendrix. About time too. Cross-town traffic, Jiminy Hendrix there. This is Russell Brand on Radio 2, and what a show it's been. It's been Noel Gallagher, well, some of the things he said about hanging, unbelievable. Jonathan Ross calling Duncan Bannatyne all the seas under the sun.
And we're the ones who are, they say,
controversial and risky. Unbelievable. These elder statesmen of rock and television, respectively, coming in here, lowering the tone. Now, Mr. Nibs is returned from his odyssey. By God, what a lad he is.
Yeah, woo!
Look, Mr. Nibs, what a bounty. So you have Christoph with you.
Yeah.
How was he on the journey?
Yeah, he's quite good, yeah. I was speaking Welsh to him and that, teaching him a bit of Welsh, you know.
You do realise that the fish don't have the capacity for language.
Oh, right. Okay.
So why have you put leaves in with him?
Deborah brought the leaves with him.
Deborah, the maniac woman who had him before, who was going to kill him just because his wife died.
Yeah,
why are there leaves?
Deborah showed me her fishnets.
She showed you her fishnets?
She wanted me to get my bait out and everything.
What's this? Is this some jokes you've worked out on the way up here?
I do.
What on earth are you doing? Fishnets? Get my bait out?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
She wanted to give me a whale at the time.
Oh, God. Nips! Listen, your jurisdiction is to come here and look after Christoph the fish. We don't want you coming here regaling us with abysmal puns. He's warming up for another one. Is that it? They will get them all out of your chest.
Another one, yeah.
Right, and then that's it. No more puns after this. And this is only because you're 18 and you've gone all the way to Birmingham for us to collect a fish. But no more puns, all right, Mr. Nibs?
One more.
Go on then, do it.
Well, I told you, I came to get a fish, not to get crabs.
Best one, save the best for last, but still rubbish. Okay, now, listeners of our show, remember, we need you to call up and we need you to email us and leave your phone number so we can contact you for pre-recorded shows. We also need you to, what's the other thing? Give us a bloody fish bowl. We ain't got a fish bowl, he's in a lunch box. He's stupid, he's in a Tupperware box like a woman will bring round your house. He looks stupid. Right, so can you give us a fish bowl, please, and fish accessories, send them us. at Radio 2. Also, you can email me at bbc.co.uk. I think it's russell.brand or something, can it?
That doesn't really matter, does
Have a look at the website, but leave us phone numbers because we need people to call to give us content and everything. And, yeah, send us fish accessories on the show. Now, Mr. G will summarise the show with a brilliant poem which will be on our bloggy later in the week. Also, what's the other thing I want to mention? Oh, download the podcast, Keepers #1. Hand over to Mr. G.
This poem is entitled Out of His Tree. From a seed to a sapling, it happens so fast, and branches stretch out as does this broadcast. From a sapling to a tree, have we reached maturity as we relieve a cowboy agent of his client's celebrity? Watch the wind blow through the leaves, haunted by the captain of the seas. In the land of cashew-shaped digits, afflicted fishes have been reprieved. The visa's finally been released. Now Russell's free to star in his own period drama. The world's most conscious jogger, donning tennis gear like body armor. What more can you ask for? Any offence we sincerely refute. Trust me, his bark is worse than his bites, from his leaves to his roots.
Woo! It's an analogy about a tree there from Mr. G. A beautiful thing, a bit of poetry from a poet. What more do you want? Poet laureate Mr. G there. Check out his blog in the week. bbc.co.uk. Do remember to send us messages. Mr. Nibs will be expecting you to be at future broadcasts tending to that fish. And other keen listeners of Radio 2, do let us know if Wogan does anything odd to that fish or anyone else who uses this studio. Keep a keen ear on the station. Thank you very much for listening. Did you enjoy the show, Matty Morgan?
I loved it.
What a show it's been. Join us next week for more antics. It'll be hilarious. Look out in the paper in case more stuff happens with Bannatyne and Noel Gallagher and everything. Boy, I love you, boy.